What's going on, everybody? Christian from Treasure Town here, and today this is something I'm extremely excited about. I think it's going to be the coolest video. It's probably going to be a really long video too, but one of the most interesting ones that I have in a while. And I basically made a purchase offer, a buy on a bunch of world silver coins, and they all came separated out by, what purity of metal content they are. So I think that we'll get to see a ton of sweet coins. I'm not really sure exactly what's inside. I have some ideas. Obviously, I've been looking pretty closely from the outside. It looks like some Netherlands and Austrian coins from 64% silver, a Japanese one from 60%, some Mexican Morelos pesos from 10%, but there's going to be tons and tons of little baggies that we're going to go through one by one, and I might even make this a two-part video series, but it's probably going to be epic, so hoping that there's some big coins inside. Let's open it up and see what we got. This video is sponsored by Whatnot, a live stream auctions and shopping app that I frequently sell coins and collectibles on. My link at the top of the description gives you $15 off your first order when you sign up through it, so definitely check that out. Plus, it's a great way to support my channel since any buy that you make with a new account gives me a nice bonus too. Hope to see you on some of those auctions. Let's get into the video. And I decided to make it one epic video. So we've got 10%, 25%, 40%, 50% of two different types, 60%, 62.5, 64, 68, 72. We've got some nifty, 75, 80, but then 82%, 83.5, 87.5%, and then some 90, 92.5 of Canadian, and then just general. So I think we're going to start from the lowest purity and go all the way up, but strap in. I think it's going to be a super, super fun hunt, and you're going to see so many different types of silver coins. It'll totally be, it might be the most fun silver world coin search known on YouTube. Let's get into the video. And we're going to start with the 10% silver. All of these, I believe, are going to be Morelos pesos minted in Mexico City. 10%, of course, but 1957. I think they ran for 11 years from 57 to 67. And they are a little curious in terms of why they would be produced, in my opinion. Why not just make like a 10 peso that's pure silver, or 90%. Here's a 1964 coin, but they're definitely collectible, and some of them have some incredible toning. This one looks to be in the best shape of them, but the low silver percentage means it's like tough to have a crazy shine on them. But there are some sort of blast white coins. They're pretty susceptible to toning, but that's going to be our first batch. Next up, we just have one coin in the 25% silver category, King George V, Rex, and the Emperor of India, and it looks like it's going to be from East Africa, 1922 1 shilling coin with a gorgeous lion and a portrait of whatever East African countries they had sort of dominion over. I wonder if this is like Kenya, Tanzania, and that sort of an area, but this is not a super common coin. At least I haven't really dealt in any, and certainly not any that look to be, I think it's been cleaned a bit, but still have this sort of nice shine to it. After that, we've got some 40% silver, so let's pour that out and see what could be inside. It looks like we're going to get a Panamanian coin in nice condition, 1966, and that's because they would mirror the US. So we would have 40% silver half dollars in 65 to 70, and Panama did the same thing, same size, same weight, same purity. They still have their dollar linked, or their Balboa linked to our dollar. But then we're also going to get a wide mix of other coins. Dominican Republic always says the amounts of grams on their coin is 5 grams 20 centavos from 1897. So actually some 19th century silver. That's really cool. We've got a Chilean coin right here. I didn't know that they did 40% silver, but on their 20 centavos coin, apparently an S, that's going to be Santiago Mint, 1913. They're going to do the same. And man, this is a cool hunt so far. 1943 1 kroner from World War II. This one's going to be a Gustav V, and very interesting. Again, in the war, a lot of the countries lowered their purity, and then also would stick around after. 50 ore 1948 from Sweden as well. So I didn't actually realize that they were producing 50 ore out of silver after the war. That's the first time I've seen that design. 10 ore here also. This one will be from Denmark, 1899. Christian the Ninth. So my name's Christian. Always fun to see that. And then another one of these, 1947. So with a little bit of toning, but it's like worn toning on this Swedish coin. So good result here, I think, with some pretty numismatic coins as well, or at least just like interesting to collectors. And now we're going to get into the 50% silver and their bodes. You know, there's a lot of that coming. So I think that it's these two, but I'm going to pour them out and then get into it. And this first one is going to be the UK 50%. I'm just going to sort it all by denomination and then get back to you. And here we've got all the British 50% silver. They would go to 50% in 1921 after World War II, just as a way, you know, it sort of cheapened the currency a bit, but we've got lots of World War II and leading up to it era coinage here, and I really like the 3 pence design actually a little bit more even than the 6 pence design, but some of these are in pretty decent shape. I'm not going to go and be super detailed about what we look at, but we got the 3 pence, which is 1/80th of a pound. We've got the 6 pence, which, you know, some cool toning, which is 1/40th of a pound. Then the shillings are going to be 1/20th of a pound and have 12 pence in each of them. So some cool, you know, interesting. I think it's like Scotland, or forget exactly what the difference in the two, you know, portraits of the line of St. Mark mean, but there's 1921, that first year of 50% silver. Then we've also got the florin, which is 2 shillings, and I think 12 of the florins would be in a, or 10 florins would be a pound. And then our last one is going to be the half crown, which I believe is 2.5. I think like 8 of these would make a pound. But again, I could be wrong. So that's the 50% from the UK. There also promises to be some cool stuff. I see New Zealand in there. I see Guinea. So I'm going to open that up and see what's going on there as well. And it looks like these are going to be a bit more varied, but I'll just pick up, I guess, 2 coins. Well, that's what I picked up, and start taking a look. So 1933 Reichsmark with a Zeppelin on them. So that actually could be a bit of a better coin. Nice little Africa or globe peninsula, but focused on Africa and Europe. I wonder if there's, well, I mean, I guess if it's a German coin, they want to be going over Germany essentially. But with the Imperial Eagle there, I didn't realize it was 50% silver. But the next one after that, this one's a larger coin with a crown, so it's probably not going to be for Britain, and it's New Zealand, 1933. Really, really cool. I hadn't seen this design before, and I really like King George V with the crown. Some smaller coins here, so looks like this one is going to be also New Zealand, 1 shilling, and then a 6 pence, so sort of going down. I thought I saw one earlier. Here is a good example, World War II, 1943, with the musical instruments, but here's the sort of gamut of New Zealand denominations, and then 1 rupee from British India in 1941. You know, Emperor, often we would see Et and Imp on other coins, but when they're making them in India, they don't need to say and the Emperor of India, they just say Emperor. So they would use the smaller percentage silver there. Here's a half rupee from 1944, and that one has some pretty nice luster. So very cool world coins here. Ooh, wow. So we also are going to get a treat of a Fiji 6 pence from 1941. That's really cool. Nice Pacific Island country. A 1943 6 pence from New Zealand. And then this one, I haven't seen, 1927, is going to be 1 Reichsmark. So that should be after the hyperinflationary period, but pre-World War II German silver. More coinage from and quarter rupees from British India. This one also is going to be a New Zealand one from 1934. And then looking down here, it looks like more New Zealand material, which is cool because I haven't seen tons of it elsewhere. So really a mini collection. And then we've got a 1942 S San Francisco Mint Fiji coin. So, you know, America stepping in and helping its allies produce currency as they could. And then probably more, New Zealand coinage in the 3 pence style. But then let's not forget about this 4 pence from 1943 from British Guinea. So this one is going to be, here they spell it out, King and Emperor of India, but I believe, or it's Guyana or Guinea, but however you pronounce it, I think that this is a South American region right near Suriname, but that's actually a better region and really, really cool piece of silver coinage to close out our, I guess, non-Canadian 50% silver batch. And now it's time to prepare for whatever is next. I think it's going to be the 60%, and if we don't have 60, it'll probably be the 64%. And here we go. Here's the 64%. I think a lot of this appears like it's going to be the Austrian material, the 10 shilling coins, pretty sort of bread and butter or basic designs, but I think it's also like, you know, fun to have just silver from all different types of territories, places, and these would actually go for a while. So see 1966, but I think that they were still producing coins with silver in them far beyond, the Americans stopped really in 1944, then a little bit in up to 70 with the half dollar as they sort of depleted their reserves. This one's going to be a Portuguese coin, 5 escudos from 1933 with a very cool ship, ferrying the waves. Then we've got a Dominican Republic, so 1963 centennial coin, and then a 1 pengo from 1927 would be a Hungarian coin, and I've never seen this denomination, so really awesome to see that. Always love the learning or just like seeing new coins. And then this one's also an Austrian coin, but a 5 shilling from 1962. So we've also got some Dutch material, it looks like. So that one's going to be World War II as well from Philadelphia, the P Mint. And then that one's World War I and also World War II. So I don't know what those privy marks mean on that third one, but lots of World War era coinage here. Looks like there's also going to be this half shilling, 1925. That's a really cool design, probably from, yes, Austria again, but older, again, prior to World War II in that in-between period. And then these are going to also be 42, 42, and 43, smaller 10-cent Dutch or Netherlands coins. So that's great for that silver. Here we've got what looks like a single coin, and I'm just going to go right directly to it as opposed to, just because it's one coin, doing a full transition or cutaway. But this is a 1934 10 francs coin from France. Most of their materials 83.5% silver, but there was sort of an in-between where they had this and a 20 francs coin in the 68%. So after that, I think it'll probably be, and we forgot to do the 60% and the 62.5%. So let's go back there. I just missed it, and wow, I didn't know Turkey was making 60% coins. 60% 1 lira, 1948. Super, super cool. That could be a little bit better. I know some of the Turkish material is a bit stronger. And then this also looks like an Olympics coin from 1964, presumably Japanese 100 yen. So really bright, shiny coin, lots of luster, and really like the look of that. It almost looks doubled, but I think that that's just it's definitely the design. And not actually a doubling process, whether it's mechanical or not. And then here, I knew often the 5 marks from Germany often experimented with that percentage of silver. So we've got a 1951 with the Imperial Eagle post-World War. This one's going to be 1978. Maybe it's an Olympics coin. And it actually just seems to be Gustav Stresemann. Interesting design for a more modern circulating commemorative, it appears, though maybe it was just a commemorative and ended up getting released or something. They did, the German mint made a lot of that sort of material. And then this one's an older 1971. That might be the last year that they produced them, but these 5 marks could be traded in for about $2.50 or so. It's sort of like a 2-to-1 ratio, and the German central bank continues to honor that, unlike many of the prior to the Euro countries. And then here, 1938 is going to be a Paul von Hindenburg coin from the sort of Third Reich Nazi Germany. So all 62.5% silver with some interesting history there. And that's really, the history on many of these coins. Excited to see what we come up with here. Looks like 72% silver, which is probably Mexico and the Netherlands. It seems like the mainland Netherlands is very 64% silver oriented, whereas, or not, this one just looks like a regular Dutch coin, but they also dabble in 72%. But here, oh, I shouldn't have dropped those coins. Okay, so here is a 1940 one gulden and a nicely toned 1931, or like interesting dot toning. So more one gulden coins, and then we'll even get larger than that with a 2.5 gulden and two of them from 66 and 64. Very cool. Has like a older feel than just 55 or whatever, 56 years ago. Here we've got a Mexican larger 72% silver. It has 18.055 grams, 72% silver, 1956, large planchet. Interesting design. I don't love the artistic design on it, but it's also cool, and I really like this one. Even though it's pretty similar, I like how they again, clearly spell it out, and just like the text layout is one. Actually, let me know in the comments which you prefer, but I prefer the one on the right, but I'll take arguments for both. And then we've got two more one gulden coins. We've got a 50 centavos there from World War II, 1944, Mexico. We've got another one gulden, 54. Let's see what else here. This one is actually in pretty good shape, 1926, 20 centavos, nice luster on the Mexican coin there. This one should be the Dutch East Indies 1941 P. More, we're helping support Netherlands and their colonies during the World War with producing currency. And here, yeah, Netherlands East Indies 1942 S, 42 S, two of them there. And then this one should be Guatemala 1924 or 5. Or 1945. Okay, they used the same reverse for a while there. World War II Guatemalan silver. So that's great. We're really happy with what we were able to come up with on these 72% silver coins, and we're certainly forming a nice little stack behind us. But gotta keep going here. I'm excited for this 75% silver, so I'll pour it out and start searching. And here goes. Looks like we've got, this one has some corrosion on it, but a 1944, and normally there's like a mint mark there. I'm not seeing one, but Filipino coin. This was when the United States was controlling the Commonwealth of the Philippines, and it might be a 44S is what I think I'm seeing there, but it also just might be no mint mark. Could benefit from being dipped as well. And here's maybe a bit of a better example, and there you can more clearly see an S mint mark, but still definitely some nice luster on them. This one appears to have been cleaned, 44S. That one is more original looking, but very, very cool. Mount Mayon in the background there. And I think it actually looks like almost all this is Filipino. Here's a 1921 coin. So we were minting coins there for a long time. And actually we had our only overseas mint that had like a mint mark. We had the M mint striking coins out of Manila, Philippines. So this one is a 1944D. This one is a 1945D. So all of these are mainly World War. This does not look World War II. And yeah, there we see 1917, but S. Even though it's cull, it might be a bit better. I'm not sure. Probably lower mintage, just because I see a lot more of the 44D, 45S, more standard coins. But still, always fun to search all of these and find whatever that may be. But a nice Filipino group of silver here, 1944D as well, with some good luster. And then here, I'm not going to go through all the dates, but it looks like a bunch more sort of World War II era 75% silver U.S. Filipino coins minted in both Denver and San Francisco. So historical value of this hunt definitely going way up as we speak. That group is done, and we'll prepare. I'll kind of do these at the same time, but we got 80% silver from Canada and then also from not Canada. On one side, we've got the Canadian stuff, and I'll just quickly go through that. I really like these designs here, just pretty elaborate with the lions, the horses, the arms, and there we see Queen Elizabeth II and King George VI. So two of those $50. This one's in a bit better condition from 1966, so that makes sense in terms of when that would be produced, though here, it's actually a bit sort of cleaned. You can see the hairlines. And then two larger silver dollars, so that's great. Very cool rowing scene there. Different portraits of Queen Elizabeth, but really fun and have a very original silver look to them. So good outcomes there. And then over here, well, we'll start with this 1 rand. I think, is this a 66 coin? It is. I've seen these previously, and they all tone interestingly. They sort of struck with an interesting finish. And then it looks like we've also got some Bahamas, or Bermuda. Is it Bermuda or Bahamas? This is Bahamas. 50 cents from 1966. Got 3 of those, and then wow, take a look at that. Japanese 50 cent. This might be all the way back to like the 1880s or 1870s, or maybe it's a little more modern. I'll let you know and take a look at what sort of lettering that all represents, but some great finds right there. Really, really cool. And then let's see, this one, I'm trying to go so I can stack them nicely. This is a little tape-toned Swiss 1861 1 franc. Wow. Might even be 83.5% silver or 90% silver, but regardless, it probably is 80%. Really cool design, and definitely an older one. There's also what looks like some South African coins here. 6 pence from 1933, 1938. So earlier for sure. That one's 34. Very cool. And then let's see what else we have here. 1906 and 1909, 10 centavos from Mexico. Some straight settlements, which I think is like Singapore, 1899. Hong Kong, 1866. That's much older. It's got a hole in it, but it's still like a way older Queen Victoria coin. How cool. And then an 1899 Hong Kong coin as well. So some great finds there. The 80% certainly provided well. And then next we can just check out this 82% silver. This one's from the Hubei province. 7.2 candarines. We'll have to look that one up because some of the Chinese stuff is better. Though the worn down condition I think will prevent any super high value from occurring, but great find there. Next up we've got this 83.5% silver lot. And I'll pour this out too. I don't think it'll take too much time to do that, so I don't need to make it cut away, but certainly a lot of material here. I'll try to go with the, again, bigger planchet stuff first. Belgian 100 francs. That's awesome. 1951. I've dealt with one of these before. Nice commemorative coin. Reminds me of like Mount Rushmore, except the Belgian equivalent. And then this might be a King Mohammed the 5th. I could be wrong, but that I believe says 1939, so it's actually probably a bit. Then this one is 1357. That's the Islamic Hijri calendar. So I don't think that's King Mohammed, but it looks Moroccan. It could also be like Syrian, Egyptian. There's lots of possible outcomes, but it'll be a good mini research project. Looks like we got some French coins, some of the more modern 5 francs. Which, you know, this one has some luster on it. We see a very reminiscent of, it's like a cool like metallic look. I think it's the Beaux-Arts generation of engravers that comes out of France. But this one, 1960, you know, in varying levels of condition, but I think we can agree that the eye appeal is totally there. Here's a 2 francs from World War I, 1918, and then a 5 francs from 1964. So I like how they have the consistent design, sort of like what Switzerland did with their currency. Here's 1915, 2 francs, but just crazy to think, you know, the circumstances under which these were struck. You know, World War II, 1917 coin from France. This one probably older from Belgium, yeah, 1950. And then this one also World War II era in the neutrality era for Switzerland, 1939 2 franc coin. And we'll just sort of continue to go through all this stuff. What's this? 1894 Guatemalan 2 reals. That could be a better coin. Looks like it's similar to like a trade dollar, not in terms of value, but just in terms of the overall appearance. We've got a 1918 1 franc coin, 1893 Hungarian find. That's really cool with Franz Josef. Austro-Hungarian. 1909 1 franc from Belgium, which is great. Another Swiss coin, 1961. And wow, Napoleon III, so that's the nephew of the original Napoleon, 1867 1 franc for the French Empire. So, man, I mean, really piling on in terms of just awesome, awesome history. And it also shows sort of the unity of the European money, because it would make sense to have similar, you know, purities so that you could just exchange at, you know, not do all this complicated exchanging. So more World War I francs. This one might be a bit newer from Switzerland, 1961 franc. This one also 1915. Okay, decent shape. And then here we've got 200 piezas and a kilogramo, so 5 gram A coin from 1869, Gobierno Provisional. So that might be an interesting Spanish coin. I don't know the significance, but really cool. Very fun. That'll be a research piece. And then 1957, 1 franc for Switzerland. 1932 could be a little bit older, and then in 1885, 1 peseta, and that's probably how before there was, there's similar coins that were struck in the Philippines, but it's like those are pesos. When it's a peseta, that's the Spanish coin, or unit for reference. And then lots of smaller but not tiny coins here. I see some 50 centimes, but I also see some stuff that I don't know, like whatever's on top. That's going to be, should be older, and it is 1885 Alfonso the 12th, 10 centésimos. This one is a 1908 half franc. What else do we have? 1918 50 centimes, 1951 half franc, more worn, more 1898 50 centimes. What are the dates on these two? 1952 half franc, 1885 10 centésimos, 10 centavos from 1905. Some of the Mexican can be tougher to find earlier on. This one, 1945 World War II Venezuelan coin, 83.5% silver, and then some more similar designs. But 83.5%, this may have been my favorite section so far, but we're hoping to augment that with some even crazier things. I think next up, well, here's just a 1 coiner, and that should be pretty cool. Based off of the 1 coin, the less common denominations. 1855 Fredericus the 7th, 1 Rigsdaler. Wow. I don't know what the 18.5 maybe stivers means 1 MFS, but hey, 87.5%. I don't know why they chose that purity, but probably a little bit of cleaning there. You can see some of the hairlines, but it's still got a ton of historical coolness from my view, and we'll break so that I can get back with the 90%. And next up, we've got some of the awesome Canadian 92.5% sterling silver, and right there it also looks like there's some Newfoundland, but actually I normally start with the larger coins first, but we got a 1916 over here, and Edward's going to be a little older, and wow, 1909 from Newfoundland as well on a larger coin. Which is awesome. Is there any big difference? Doesn't look like particularly, but wonder why Newfoundland was making their own coinage and maybe they weren't incorporated into Canada or something like that. But those look like the large ones. I'm going to try to go somewhat in order again. So here's the quarters, I think in all cases, and I don't know what the key dates are here, but 1915, I mean, I think anything with a date in decent shape is like a good find. 1919, that one's 1918. This one looks older. Going to be a Victoria coin from the 1800s, and 1888. Wow, much older. 1919, but lots of good sterling silver here. This one looks like a clear 9, and if we date it to King George, I think that would have to be 19, but it could be 09 as well. But my guess is 19 there. And then, okay, Newfoundland, 1917, cool, with the C mint, probably just means Canada. And then here, 1890 from the H Heaton mint, and that one actually has pretty solid detail. Left looks more original, not like cleaned or recently cleaned, which is good. And then after that, it's going to be a little bit of a, not hassle, when I say hassle, I'm still very much enjoying doing this, but I just have to separate out the dimes from all the 5-cent coins, and I think that I've done that. So here we've got 03, 87 is a bit older. That one should be a bit older as well. 1903 was some sort of interesting old toning, or what, reminiscent of toning. More 03 over there. Let's see, 1916, 03, must have been a common date or something. Or maybe it's a key date that we've just got a bunch of, 06. And then we got 16, and lastly, 1917. Sweet. So I think there's always some premium there, and maybe I'll sell those in like mini lots, or I could make like, a lot of a few different types of coins. But here, 1871, there's going to be some older and then some on the newer side, but just an abundance of these 5-cent coins from Canada. Really, really cool. And I don't think I'm going to go through individually each one, to show you. This one might be a little bit older and better. 1871 5 cents, still with some solid detail. So I think it's a great group of Canadian coins there, and probably best and smart for me to stack these up. I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do for the thumbnail. You will, of course, already have seen it, but I'm excited. I think that there's like some cool possible thumbnail ideas to come up with. And then lastly, we're going to do our 92.5% non-Canadian, which is probably like, yeah, Australian or older British, but I'm trying to think of other countries. I'm seeing almost all just Australian and British here, like this one, Victoria, nice detail, 1 shilling from 1879, so a really good start. That one is a monster coin, 1900 half crown, sweet, that is cool, a really large coin. And then this one also, South Africa, whoa, Krugerrand, Paul Kruger, 1894, 2.5 shillings, so that's the half crown denomination again. Andracht mocked, interesting slogan, but really cool to have these larger silver continuing. I'm trying to see if there's other ones of these, because I wouldn't be surprised if there are. But I see a bunch of larger ones, some florin coins, which is 2 shillings, 1911 from Great Britain, 1943 from Australia. That one looks like it's older British, or no, Australia, 1919. 1915 Britain, that one's old, 1898 it looks like, from Queen Victoria. Wow. So there's some cool premium attached to a lot of those. It looks like some older ones in the mix as well. Here's another cool one, 1907. I really like that. Reminds me very much of the circulating British commemoratives. Here we've got a 1919 with some luster, though maybe a bit of cleaning, but still very cool. 1910. This one looks larger and old too. 1845, so cool. Victoria de Gratia, really the early part of her reign. Super worn, probably like a Fair 2 or AG03, but still special to have that. We've got this one, 1/10 of a pound, 1 florin. This one is going to be, ooh, I like it with the Roman 1853. Whoa. Super cool. So lots of great British silver all throughout here, or British Empire. 1913, 2 shillings, and then a nice condition 1896 with 3 crowns, like that harp there. Reminds me of Ireland. Here's 1845, 1 shilling, in good shape. A little bit less on that side. It's got a scratch or X through it, but that's really cool. And then it seems like the hits are going to keep coming through this last batch, and it was all British or Australian or South African, but that's still, that's great. Here's a 1924. That's probably actually 50%, which is okay if I pay, I think I already paid for this and just approved it as a batch. But 1943, Australian shilling with the estimate mark. 1924, that one, 1890, On y soit qui mal y pense, that slogan. Let's see what else we can come up with. 1918, M Mint, Melbourne Mint. 1941, shilling. 1920, Melbourne. That one looks old. 1857, so cool. And then 1918. So nice finds there. And then the remainder of this, I don't want to, well, we're almost there, but I'll still try to, condense it so that it's interesting. Got a bunch more 6-pence coins, some of them being older, some of them with some fun toning, some of them with some World War II themes. So that's cool. And then, I don't know, what's our last? This one looks old. 1842. Sweet. Nice Queen Victoria coin. And then a lot of these 3-pence also looking not too old, outside of maybe this one, which is going to be Queen Victoria. That could be a younger portrait. Shame on the corrosion, because it's an 1844 3-pence. Really, really fun. And that concludes today's hunt. But we've got a lot of cool coins. Still, again, figuring out the thumbnail, but whether it's sterling, some nifty 90%, or all of the other coins that we got today. Really happy with this unboxing, world silver purchase, collection, whatever you want to call it. this was a good one. So I'll see you on some similar videos in the future, and had so much fun with this one. Thanks for watching the video, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to visit our website, treasuretown.com, to stay up to date on everything going on the channel and possibly get some great deals on coins and collectibles. We look forward to seeing you on our future videos, and best wishes until then.